Kanelbullar is a type of cinnamon bun found all over Sweden, and they're usually served alongside a cup of coffee during fika. Now, fika is a well-loved midday break where you take time to enjoy the day and the people you're with. And today, Bridget's going to make kanelbullar for me.
How many cinnamon buns have we made together?
A lot.
But I'm going to show you how kanelbullar are singularly Swedish.
All right.
All right. So cardamom is a big flavor here. Now you can buy cardamom seeds. They can be hard to find and really, really expensive. It's actually best if you can find the pods and grind them yourself.
Ooh, it smells so good when it's fresh.
It's floral, it's grassy, it's beautiful. Now I just need 2 teaspoons of cardamom seeds. I'm going to take my pestle here and just crack them. And then you can help me. Just open these up and you can see these little tiny seeds.
Just gonna put them in there?
Lovely, yes. So I'm just gonna take the mortar and pestle and just kind of lightly crush these. We need about 2 teaspoons of the seeds that are coarsely ground. Now, our dough. We're gonna use tangzhong. So that's basically a gel. It's almost like a pudding made from flour and milk, and it's gonna help to trap the moisture inside the dough. I've got 3/4 cup of whole milk here and 1/4 cup of bread flour. So that's about 1 1/3 ounces. And I'm going to whisk this together. And we're using bread flour here and throughout the recipe because we really need that structure, that higher gluten. All right, so this does not look like much at this point. I'm going to microwave this for anywhere between 1 to 2 minutes. I'll go in and I want to stir it every 20 seconds. I'm looking for it, again, to be nice and pudding-like and pretty thick. And there you go. All right, we're getting thick. Actually, I think this is looking pretty good. It's almost like mashed potatoes. So let's walk on down here. I'm gonna go ahead and put this into the bowl of my standing mixer. And I'm going to add 1/2 cup of whole milk. This is really cold. We need to cool this mixture down. And I'll whisk this together. All right, so that looks good. And now we'll add the rest of our flour. This is 11 ounces or 2 cups more of the bread flour and a whole tablespoon of instant yeast or rapid rise. Now we are going to add cardamom to the dough directly, and cardamom can really inhibit the growth of yeast. So we have to add extra. So we're gonna mix this on low speed until the flour is just mostly hydrated, and that's gonna take about a minute. So that looks great, looks well hydrated, but with the machine turned off, just gonna cover this with a little bit of plastic. We want to give time for the flour to fully hydrate so it can start more gluten development. And we do this before we add any sugar or salt because really they kind of compete for the attention of the water. So we're giving the flour full attention. Okay, 15 minutes. Can get rid of the plastic. The flour has been fully hydrated in there. Now we can add our sugar and salt. This is 1/4 cup of granulated sugar and a teaspoon of table salt. All right, so I'm going to turn this to medium-low until all the sugar and the salt are worked into the dough. So it's been about 5 minutes, all the sugar, salt in the dough.
It's a beautiful looking dough.
It's a gorgeous dough, but it's just not rich enough, Julia. I know you like rich things. So we're going to add butter. This is 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter. All in at once, you don't need to feed it, and that's nice and softened, so it's going to incorporate in very easily. And at this point, we're going to add that cardamom.
Oh.
Again, it was 2 teaspoons coarsely ground. And so when you bite into the dough later on, you're going to get these little pops of cardamom. It's kind of magic. Back on medium-low for another 5 minutes until it's all incorporated. It's going to be pretty sticky, but in any case, I'm going to go in there a couple times and scrape everything down.
You warned me that it was a soft dough, and you weren't kidding.
Yeah, no, it's definitely sticky at this point. It would be impossible to roll it out and make cinnamon buns. We want to get it really nice and chilled, and we want to start working it towards a rectangular shape. So we've got here a 9 by 13 inch baking pan, really well greased. I'm going to use it kind of as a little form. I'll scrape the dough right in there.
Very clever.
Then here, you can go right in there. You can start to push the dough out.
Look, it's almost like cookie dough, how soft it looks.
Exactly. Now, once it's in there, you want to flip it over because that bottom side was greased by the pan, and now that it's the top side. So we're just going to keep working this in there until it's in the corners, relatively even. Now I want to cover this with some plastic wrap. This is going to go into the fridge, and you want to let it get really well chilled, so about an hour in there.
Okay.
So, got our dough. How about some filling?
Yeah.
We're going to use the same bowl here. I've got 3/4 cup of granulated sugar and more butter. 6 more tablespoons of unsalted butter. Again, nice and soft. And here is the canelle, cinnamon.
I was wondering where it was.
Yes, it's right here. This is 2 tablespoons of ground canelle or cinnamon. Tablespoon more of bread flour. That's going to help us to spread this. And also when we go to form the shapes of the buns, it's going to help the filling to stay inside. And a little bit of salt. Just a good idea to even things out. And that is a 1/4 teaspoon of table salt. All right, back on our machine. This time, we're going to use the paddle instead of the dough hook. We're going to mix this on low speed, and that's going to take about a minute. At America's Test Kitchen, recipe development is serious business.
Head over to americastestkitchen.com and unlock 14,000 expert-developed recipes and 8,000 unbiased product reviews, all rigorously tested by our team.
Access every episode of every season of your favorite cooking shows. That's 38 seasons of inspiration.
And with the ATK Members app, you'll have 30 years of expertise at your fingertips, anywhere, anytime. Join us and become a smarter cook.
Start your free all-access trial membership at americastestkitchen.com today. All right, we have our well-chilled dough. It's been about an hour.
Oh yeah.
It really firms up. Now, I'm going to get this out of the pan, so I'm going to go ahead and flour my bench here. Pretty highly floured, and then it should come out. Wow, completely different from that sticky mess we put into the fridge. All right, so I do want to flour the top here, and I'm making sure that I have the short end facing me because we're going to roll this out to about 18 inches long by 10 inches wide.
Well, now it makes sense why you let the dough rest in that rectangular cake pan, because it's making this part super easy.
Exactly. Now this is one of those doughs that if it starts to stick, you can always just put it on a sheet pan, put it back in the fridge for a few minutes. All right, looking pretty good.
Oh, I'll be the judge of that.
Uh-oh.
What are we looking for?
18 by 10, please.
10, yep. Nailed it.
All right, so now I want to make just a little bit of a mark on the top third of this. I'm not cutting all the way through. This is really just a visual. All right, so now here's our filling. And doesn't that smell amazing?
Yeah.
Yes, very robust.
It looks pretty spreadable.
Yes, it's very spreadable. I could put this right on toast right now, but I'm going to put this on the bottom 2/3 of this dough. And I'm going to go all the way to the ends and the sides. And that's why I made that mark.
Aha.
Yes. And I'm going to keep on spreading this out until it's nice and even. And like I said, all the way to the edges. But it is a very thin layer. I'm not going to roll this up. We're going to do it kind of business letter style. So this top third that was not coated is going to come down. Just want to even out the sides here. And then the bottom goes right over there. So we've got these multiple layers of cinnamon and dough. I know. That looks great. Now I'm going to sprinkle this with some more flour, and we want to get this out to a 12-inch square. So, still a very forgiving dough.
Yeah. She looks pretty good.
Not bad. We want to cut this into 12-inch wide strips. So I'm just going to dock this a little bit. Just give me an idea of what I'm looking for. So I'm going to use my ruler, because it's just a great tool. It's going to produce these long cuts. You can use a bench scraper, you can use a knife to cut these little strips, but why not use the ruler?
Masterfully done, Bridget.
There we go.
I've never seen such evenly cut strips of dough, ever.
Now again, instead of that jelly roll shape where we cut out rounds, we're going to make these into little bundles. It's one of those things that makes this kanelbullar, and it's how it differentiates itself from other cinnamon buns.
All right.
So instead of stretching this out to 24 inches long, I'm just going to cut this, use a knife, you can use a bench scraper, and you want to cut this until it's almost at the end. You want to keep that attached, and then now we have 24 inches long.
Ah, very clever.
So I'm going to show you one.
All right.
You're going to help me make some.
Sweet.
So I'm going to anchor this first piece over 3 fingers here. And I'm going to wind this, and then as I do, I'm kind of twisting it a little bit, but I'm not stretching.
Okay.
All right, now when I get here, I want to anchor this with my thumb. So it's gone around 3 times. So it's going right across.
Oh, with the tail tuck underneath.
Tails have to be tucked under, otherwise they'll just go crazy. Got a half sheet pan lined with parchment paper. All right, you want me to get you started with
Yeah.
And you can see that that filling really stays in place
It
from
does.
that flour.
You can see the 2 lines of it. All
If
right.
you need to dip your hands into flour, you can.
Can't hurt. All right, I'm gonna do some spins loosely. This is fun.
Yes. One of the things about this is the imperfection is perfection.
My kind of cooking.
Sweet little bundles.
Oh, I like it.
That's my new nickname for you. Sweet little bundles. After we're done with this, I'm going to put a piece of plastic on it. You can also put a damp towel on there. But we want to let these sit at room temperature until they're just a little puffy. That's going to take about an hour. All right, we have our lovely little puffy kanelbullar. These were sitting out again for an hour, a little bit puffed. We're just going to glaze them with some egg wash here. This is just an egg that I've mixed with a tablespoon of water, a little pinch of salt, and lightly brush this. Now you're not going to use all the egg wash. I'm being very gentle. I don't want to deflate them. All right, for a final flourish, we don't just want to put sugar on here because the sugar would melt. So we're using pearl sugar.
Non-melting sugar.
It's a non-melting sugar. Yeah, it's really cool. They take the sugar and they compress it into these little orbs and then they polish them like pearls. About a teaspoon is going to go on each of these. This is a 1/4 cup. If you didn't have pearl sugar, you could use demerara. But you want something that's not going to melt very easily. These are ready to bake, and I'm going to put them in a pretty hot oven, 425 degrees, but they're not going to be in there for very long. Only about 13 minutes, maybe up to 17 minutes. I'm going to turn the pan around halfway through baking, and what I'm looking for is for these to get all golden brown, and an internal temperature is going to register about 200 degrees.
I can smell them from here.
Make way, make
Oh.
way.
It's amazing how they look pretty rustic, but they look so refined out of the oven.
Aren't they beautiful?
Oh,
Little bundles of joy. Now you can see a little bit of the filling has leaked out. We actually think that's kind of a feature. It gets this really nice frilly lace. So they look good. Looking for internal temperature right around 200 degrees. I went over just by one. That's all right.
I'll never tell.
So with a really rich dough like this, you really want to cook it enough because otherwise it might be kind of gummy inside. So we're going to leave these here for 5 minutes right here on the sheet pan. And then get them off of the pan onto the cooling rack. We're going to let them cool for another 10 minutes and then we can eat.
That is a beautiful tray. They're just so pretty all stacked up like that.
Aren't they gorgeous? Here, let me get you a beautiful
Please.
one. Now, what's great about this, again, is we use that tangzhong, that flour paste. So not only are these good today, but they're actually great tomorrow. What do you think? Yes.
It's the cardamom. The cardamom's everything. It gives the buns a nuance of flavor, and I just got a little crunchy bit.
Isn't that great? Cardamom takes it to a whole other level because it has that citrus flavor, a little bit of that floral in there. Oh,
You can see how feathery the dough is. Okay, so I see already I'm starting to peel apart the layers. Is that part of the fun?
sure. You can fika however you want to.
I am enjoying fika.
You get your fika on.
These are spectacular, Bridget. Thank you.
You bet.
So if you want to try your hand at this traditional Swedish treat, start by grinding your own fresh cardamom seeds. Refrigerate the dough for easy rolling, and wrap the strips of dough loosely around your hand to make little packages. From America's Test Kitchen, a fabulous recipe for kanelbullar. Oh, they are good with coffee. We hope you enjoyed this video as much as we enjoyed making it.
Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel.
And if you're ready to take your cooking to the next level, head over to americastestkitchen.com and get a free all-access trial membership.
While you're there, you can sign up for our free email newsletters and download our app.
With unlimited access to over 14,000 of our test kitchen recipes and 8,000 product reviews, you'll have everything you need to cook and learn.
So I ask, what are you waiting for?
Let's make something great together.